So far we've worked on strengthening the fingers and the hands. We've been doing push-ups. We've been doing the shin sit and then the shin squat foundation. And now we're going to work on the core. Now in the real motion workouts, I really focus on the core. I explain it more in depth, how to engage the core and activate the core, and some really great core exercises. But here I'm going to show you one simple and very effective exercise. I call it the McGill sit-up. It's based on the principles of Stuart McGill, similar to the McGill crunch. I've seen this exercise elsewhere. I don't know what it's called, but it's a very small modified sit-up. Now, people want to do a lot of sit-ups, work on that six-pack, but a lot of people do sit-ups wrong and they're curling up. And what curling up does is that actually bends the spine and wears out the spine. It can cause spinal damage, and we want to avoid that. We want to keep the spine straight, keep it in neutral, what they call, so it's got that little bit of arch in that lower back, so that stays strong. And we do that by activating the core. It's sort of like you're going to be punched in the stomach and you stiffen it up, right? And it's all hard. That's what's called activating or engaging the core. And the core is the whole girdle around. Now a lot of people have sore backs, and that's because they got a soft belly. The best way to cure a bad back, if it's not skeletal, is muscular, and so is actually to work on the core, the abdominal, right? That'll strengthen and support the back. So this is a great exercise for that, and you're going to need it for a lot of the crawling and other exercises we'll do. We really work the core, so this is a great foundation for that. So we're going to start on our back. So your knees, you want to keep your knees bent at about a comfortable 45-degree angle, straight up. Now you'll notice when your knees are up that you got a little bit of space, slight space underneath your back. That's the neutral spine. That's what we want to maintain. So we're only going to travel a small distance. Now I've seen it demonstrated that the hands are on the ground and then the hands are traveling no further than 6 inches, or about 15 centimeters. So all we want to do is just move those hands forward, but the way to do that is by lifting the shoulders slightly off the mat. We want to focus not with leading with our head. We want to focus with lifting our chest or our sternum straight up. It's important that we get that lifting straight up rather than rounding the back. The head does not lead, the head just follows along. It's extra weight, and that's what we want to do. We want to really work that core, engaging the length of the lever, but very small movement. So we want to focus on lifting the sternum straight up, and we're only going to come up as high as our shoulder blades come off the mat. So I'm going to put my hands straight, flat on the ground. I'm going to lift the sternum toward the ceiling. My head follows. My hands slide forward, and I'm traveling. My hands slide maybe 4 inches. That's it, no more than 6, because now my shoulder blades are slightly off the mat. My lower back is still on the mat. My core is working hard. I'm going to come down. I'm going to relax. Now, the idea of the exercise is that we engage the core, we lift, we come back down. Relax. We activate the core, we lift, we come back down. And then we increase the length of time that we're holding that lift, and we come back down. So you start with a second or two, and you increase to 5 seconds, and you could increase to 10 seconds and 15 seconds, and then back down. Again, this movement, that small lift, is exactly like the McGill crunch, but I prefer to do it with my hands just on my legs, because by the time I hit the top of my knees, that's as far as I'm going to go. So again, I'm going to engage that core, lift my chest toward the ceiling, my head is in line, and my fingers travel up on my leg, and that's as far as I go. I'm gonna come back down. I'm gonna relax, activate the abdominals, so it's activating the whole core. Stiffen it up, bring it up, hold for a few seconds, and come back down. Now, what some people find is that their neck starts to hurt and they want to put their hand under their head. You shouldn't put your hand under your head, you should put your hand under your neck. So, this is only until you can get stronger in your neck, right? So once it starts to strain and you want to curl up your head, don't do that. Just keep it straight, put your hand under your head, relax your head, have your arm and your hand support it, and then you can come up, hold it, and then come back down. So I'm gonna do one, demonstrate a little bit longer one. So again, activate the core, lift with the sternum, the chest, lift, shoulder blades just off the mat, and I'm holding it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna go back down and relax. Engage it again and go back up. So you start again, you practice the form, you start for a second or two, you go back down, come back, and increase that time you're holding it up. Great abdominal core exercise as foundational, again, to everything else that we're gonna do, because we're gonna work the core a lot. We need to ensure that it's strong, and it will get stronger, and thus you can flatten your belly, support your back, and you'll be ready for anything. See you in the next episode.